All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. We're talking about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in today's video. I actually moving to the Tampa area in like a week or so. But folks, the point is we have regular season football less than a week away, and Tampa is one of these teams that is literally flying under the radar. Most of the NFC South conversations are regarding Captain Kirk Cousins, Michael Penix Jr., bunch of new pieces, bunch of new coaches over in Atlanta. But Tampa has not lost the NFC South in forever. And I was reading The Athletic did a power rankings article today, all 32 teams. Tampa's clocking in at 22. They're clocking in at 22. Folks, and I don't need to tell Buccaneers fans this, but Baker Mayfield is coming off a season where he threw the highest completion percentage of his career. He is not even 30 years old. He's 29. He's in and just still in his athletic prime. It's not going anywhere anytime soon. Last season, he threw 28 touchdowns, only 10 interceptions. It was probably the best Baker looked ever. This time last season was completely different. At this time last year, we knew Baker Mayfield was going to be the starting quarterback, but we just didn't really know what was going to happen. And the season actually started off really well, but it ended even better. And we saw Tampa Bay take down the Philadelphia Eagles after winning the NFC South. We saw Baker Mayfield throw 0 interceptions, 337 yards, and 3 touchdowns. In that game against Philadelphia, follows it up against Detroit, 350 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and Tampa falls a possession short. But the point is, this is still a really good football team, and we're going to be discussing it, a lot of rookies as well in today's video. But before we do, if you guys enjoy it, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. Bucs fans, NFL fans, who try and get this video to 100 likes, that would mean the absolute world to me. So we'll just get this excerpt in. The Buccaneer preseason vibes, anonymous. The Bucs have the right to be a little miffed. What other team on a 3-year run out of division titles and a Super Bowl title the season before that has gotten so little attention? Sure, that division is the NFC South, but still, Tampa Bay has brought most of the band back together for the 4P. Dave Canales, losing Dave Canales was definitely an unideal thing. He's now obviously the head coach of the Carolina Panthers. Just read that article that he cheated on his wife and just a bunch of crazy stuff about Dave Canales. But yeah, Liam Cohen's the new offensive coordinator, and people are worried about the offensive scheme. I was reading another article. Their biggest concern was the offensive scheme. What's really interesting is in that year that Liam Cohen was the offensive coordinator for the Los Angeles Rams, they went 5-12. But keep in mind, folks, that was the season where Matthew Stafford was injured, Cam Akers was the running back, Cooper Kupp was injured. I mean, their whole freaking Van Jefferson was injured, Tutu Atwell was injured. The whole team was injured. The offensive line, everybody, especially on that offense, was literally injured. One thing I'm really excited about with Liam Cohen is the running back room. And we'll talk about Bucky Irvin right here, right now, because the Bucs have had the league's worst rushing attack over the last 2 seasons at 82.9 rushing yards per game. How is that a real statistic? Rachaad White is an extremely talented dual threat running back, and I am so excited about him this upcoming season, entering a big year. And Bucky Irvin, the running back out of Oregon. So he actually topped over 1,000 rushing yards in each of his first 2 seasons, or each of his 2 seasons at Oregon. Had just about 1,200 rushing yards and 11 touchdowns last year. He also broke an FBS high 144 tackles since 2022. He's had about 900 rushing yards between the tackles in 2023. And he averaged 7.1 yards per rush. He also had 56 catches last season. That led all college football running backs. So the point is, there's way more versatility in this offense here with just the simple addition of Bucky Irvin and Liam Cohen. Now, you also have rookie first-round draft pick out of Duke in Graham Barton. So hopefully he's going to, he's starting rookie center. He's going to have struggles. He's probably going to struggle early on, but the hope is that's, obviously your long-term franchise starting center there. So I love the offensive additions. And then, we'll touch on Jalen McMillan from Washington. Very sleeper season last year, but obviously, he was behind a couple of dogs, specifically Rome Odunze. 6 touchdown catches on post routes since 2022. That's tied for number 1 in all of college football. 253 receiving yards on post route concepts since 2022. That's the 10th most in college football. So he's going to be wide receiver 3 right there, lining up next to Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. You also have Cameron Johnson and Trey Palmer. Very excited for Trey Palmer's sophomore campaign as well. For me, defense, I loved 2 picks. I loved the first 2 picks you guys made defensively, and one of them is going to be a starter, Tyreek Smith. 4 interceptions in 2023. That was the 3rd most, or tied for the 3rd most in the SEC. If you guys been watching this channel for a while, I think every SEC football player is built to succeed in the National Football League. But he was also one of 3 college football players with 4 or more interceptions and 2 or more sacks last season, alongside Mike Sanderstill at Michigan and UNLV's Cameron Oliver. Here's where things get fun. He was targeted on 9% of his coverage snaps since 2022, but he held opposing quarterbacks to just 2.8 yards per attempt in that span. That was top 6 in college football. Now, as a freshman, all the way back in 2019, he allowed 5 completions of 20 or more yards as the targeted defender. But since 2020, he's allowed 1 catch for more than 20 yards. He's had over 750 coverage snaps. This is, like we see here in the nickel, a day 1 starting cornerback. Day 1 starting rookie out of the University of Georgia. Pairing him up with Zion McCollum, Jordan Whitehead, Antoine Winfield, as always, and Jamel Dean. I'm liking this secondary, and I'm loving the future of Tyreek Smith. And then in the 2nd round, Chris Braswell. I really love the linebacker room. I think, just to be honest with you, the whole Buccaneers defense is underrated. It's under-recognized, and it was last season as well. Kalijah Kancey entering a big sophomore campaign. You still got Vita Vea, Logan Hall, Shoyinka. You have Levante David, KJ Britt, Yaya Diaby, who's been a freaking beast that no one's even heard of. And then in the backup linebacker room, you now have Chris Braswell, outside linebacker out of Alabama. Guys, 3 forced fumbles last year. That was the tied for number 1 in the SEC. 42 pressures, the 3rd most in the SEC. It gets even better. 8 sacks, tied for 5th in the SEC. He only had 2.5 from 2020 to 2022. He had 53 coverage snaps last season as well, which we know Todd Bowles wants his edge rushers to do. And he played only 41 games with Alabama. 2 starts. They both came last season. So he had 8 sacks. I mean, this dude is a freaking pressure beast. He had a 13.8 pressure rate since 2022. That's going to be the 3rd best in the entire SEC over that span, right behind Will Anderson Jr. and right behind Dallas Turner. So I cannot wait to watch these rookies play. Like I said, Liam Cohn, Baker Mayfield, Rashad White, Bucky Irvin, all these wide receivers, I'm freaking loving it. I know Atlanta is a good team, and I think it's going to be obviously it's going to be a much better NFC South. But I'm really excited about this season, guys. Let me know down below, how many wins do the Tampa Bay Buccaneers get? If you guys want more, let me know down below. But drop that comment. Have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you freaking soon, baby.